Hey folks, welcome back to our worst culture run, where we are exiting the early modern era and about to make our choice for the industrial. And honestly, who could it be other than the Russians? I think you could argue in some situations there are cultures that are equally as bad, but the Russians are like always bad in every situation comparatively to the other cultures. So that's who we are going to be rolling with today. So we're going to adopt the Russians and just get right into it here. So first things first, actually, we have this war that we started that our ally actually took over the city. Now we don't have any war support and can't force anything, so we just kind of have to accept the end of the war as it is and just come back and deal with them later. So let's start queuing up some of these Sobors. The problem with the Sobor is actually that, I mean, it has like an okay amount of influence, and I don't want to place something there because that would be a really good research quarter. Problem with the Sobor is like you can get an okay amount of adjacency, and it doesn't have any cost as far as stability. It's kind of nice. It's just that the Sobor gets like a lot of the value for the Sobor has been invested in faith for some reason. At a point in the game where faith is pretty much just useless. Like by this point in the game, you really don't need faith anymore. I guess maybe if you have the Angkor Wat Machu Picchu combo, it can still be okay, but like otherwise you're not really getting any value out of faith. So I think like that is the main thing holding this district back. It's for some reason the developers think that the faith on the Sobor is actually worth having in industrial when it's not really. So yeah, I'm just gonna fill this in wherever I get the most influence. We still want to generate influence where possible. Is somewhat more challenging getting influence bars compared to some of the other one. So I think it's still worth having, but like still a pretty mediocre amount of influence compared to some other districts that are available in this era. If you're thinking about like the Italians, for instance, are very good at influence. Okay, so almost done queuing things up. I'm not being super careful about where I'm putting these, really. It's kind of generally wherever I'm getting a decent amount of influence. It's a good river there, though. I don't think I want to eat that spot up. Okay. And then as far as tech goes, I think we're going to go from Carbine into line formation. That'll let us upgrade some of our units, and then we'll probably grab Encyclopedia to get some of that extra research, and down into like mechanization and electricity to improve some of our industry. In the meantime, we're just positioning units to go ahead and yellow player once line formation stack is searched. I have some wonders. I'll grab Statue of Liberty. I am trying to maximize my fame. The Statue of Liberty is probably the best wonder in most decks, just because it basically provides outputs like a small city. It's, what is it, 10, I believe? 10 money and plus 10 science per number of territories in your sphere of influence. Right now, a number is actually about, there we go, 46, so that's 460 of each. And that's not a bad amount. It's like having a very small city. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to move some people off money. I think I have a ton of money generation already. I really want to increase my science generation, possibly. And part of that strategy is going to be getting the Statue of Liberty. I can get quite a bit of science off that. Did I not build Sobors here? I did not. Let's make sure we're those in. Not like an amazing district. It's still better than nothing, though. We're also going to want some more research quarters here, and I'm building research quarters kind of out in that direction. On to the next turn. Okay, we have a few turns until we get to line form. I can swap any more folks onto science here. So that is, I think, going to be my main limiter this area. Is that I'll be a little bit slow on the science. They're just idling. A couple other units that can come kind of up front. Actually, I suppose we need them here to attack Haral first. Just get some units positioned there, and I actually might need another arm down. So here, I'm just going to use my money to buy out something. Let's just go with one cost back. one more musketeer there, and then we can upgrade those guys once we research tech. I suppose you can help finish Statue of Liberty. Actually going to get the stoneworks because you need that for some other in a little bit. New wonder, Statue of Liberty's done, and actually what I should have maybe done is start the crepassage activity up here, because this one gives me plus 15% bonus on fame gains for 10 turns. The start of the era feels like a good era to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and buy it out, actually, just so I start getting a bunch of increased fame from the various activities I'm performing at the start of the year. All those units can idle. There are some stars that'll get some bonus fame. And I'm going to go ahead and claim Big Ben. Extra 10% science on capital seems fine right now. And I get a little bit of extra fame just for building builders. But this one, I assume put it right there. Seems. And make sure we are building up Big Ben here. That percentage output on capital will be useful. In gold to finish, or why not? Get that in there. Do we need our manufacturer there too, as well as our printing house? Actually, don't have our university in here. I'm going to grab that because we are going to be building more science quarters in here. Plot Big Ben in the front. It's just 2 turns, so I don't really need to add too much else. More infrastructure in here. And now all my units start upgrading. Do as much as possible, but we'll probably have to wait a few turns with everyone. Just idle them for now. And as far as next tech, I think I'm going to grab Encyclopedia, the extra science on research quarters, and then maybe go into mechanization for some of these industry out. Yeah, I could already go up to the contemporary. Definitely do not need to do that yet. Here we are upgrading our units here. To line infantry. Be a nice upgrade over the musketeers. I'll be able. Just going to wait for everyone to upgrade. And in here, I mean, some extra market quarters wouldn't be unwelcome either. We'll go ahead and grab those. I also need to think about attaching some territory to this era because that is my primary era star, and I don't think I really want to take any. What I might actually do is attach right here. Ooh, big hit on food. Let's put some people on food so I don't miss any. And actually I might wait until I get some of these other techs before I attach anymore. Forgot that the added population will destabilize my food. Big Ben is complete. And I'm going to add the academy in. So the academy gives you a big boost on research adjacency. You don't have enough in here to be worth it at the moment. Just fill up some of those locations on it. And I should also check to see if I have any crises that I can pronounce, which I do.
Tell me what
Handful at least.
Pleased to make your...
Pronounce that one.
Where have you been?
Nothing there. Anything here?
do you want?
Couple. Go ahead and renounce those. Just trying to generate Diplo era stars if I'm able. There we go. All of our units that are in position to actually attack are upgraded. So first things first, actually, I'm going to claim another wonder just because this gets me a little bit of extra fame once I build it. Eiffel Tower is not really that good. Like, it gives you a +1 industry per population, but like, let's go like here, right? I have 42 population, but over 1,200 industry. It's not like a very good investment. The increase in output that you get in your cities at this point. Arsa, you can help or build Eiffel Tower, I guess. Sure, why not? Your religion we definitely don't need. We have like the dominant religion. There's one. And then over here, I'm just going to declare a surprise war. We really don't need a formal war here. We're going to move in and make an attack here. Pull these units up as well. They have a decent few units in this area. Yeah, look at the number of units they have. Some of them are maybe slightly dangerous. Really too big of a deal, I don't think. Yeah, I'm fine with this deployment. I'm not really worried about using a ton of units here. We are going to focus fire on these arquebusiers. And why is my volume so loud here? I feel like every time I boot up the game, volume changes. So I'm just going to turn the master volume down a little bit, because like some of those attacks are extremely loud. Hopefully that isn't the case for you all. Feels a little bit better at that volume. Okay. Let's grab the knights. Knights can actually be somewhat combat efficient, even like a couple eras later into the game. I don't want them to bring their units in. I'm not being very efficient with my shots here. Anyone else actually attack? Basically just waiting for them to bring their reinforcements so I can start killing all those units. We have an event. We'll go for the exports, not particularly. Crisis, great, we'll renounce. Pretty difficult to get the diplomacy era stars, especially with a lot of vassals, and it reduces your ability to actually generate diplomacy era stars. And they're really focused firing this guy. A little annoying. A lot of units that they have running around right now. Yeah, I'm surprised I did as much damage to this guy. Alright. Easy shot on those arquebusiers. Great swordsman. Want to just knock out all these units that are behind me. Taking at the javelin riders. Then inside the fort. Knock out those knights. Take those great sword. Then we're going to start working on their ranged units. Because those are higher combat value, because they can attack me without me being able to get a retaliatory hit. Move that guy out of there just because he's low health. Then we can take some shots. Can he hit anyone right now? He can. Okay, we can knock out those drafties. Units up here, and then maybe javelin riders. Have surprisingly high combat strength. I know they're behind a wall, but they're classical era units. Knock them out, hopefully. Go. A lot of units to kill. Well, we're definitely going to get our militarist era. Sarah. Hopefully they have no more invisible units running around that could knock out some of my lower health units. Okay, they definitely. Hopefully the last one that is actually in a position to. I guess they maybe used this unit. Pull this guy back like right there, I think. Safe. And these javelin riders, I'm gonna knock them out because that's a good candidate to move to the city. I can move this guy up into a position where they can actually do something. Here, actually shoot down there. Cross this guy. Hit whatever we can. Here we can do that. Cross over there, cross there. Start hitting these halberdiers. Knock them out. Here we have arquebusiers that need ended. Let's do something like that. Get the knights from there. Really just a matter of trying to get as many units to shoot on any turn as I can. Go ahead and make an attack there, I suppose. I'm hopeful they don't have enough units in a position to actually like play this line infantry to death. Wow, that did a lot of damage. 25. Okay, well, they managed to kill them. Not a big deal. I have more than a little unfortunate. Could have played more conservatively, actually, keep them alive. Really wanted to get the flag. Guess we'll just have to wait. Next round of combat. These units, I'm just going to kind of position to immediately assault this next this battle stone. Running over my word here with my mouse. Why is my cord being so annoying? There we go. So here, let's start by knocking out those knights. Okay, nice little one shot there. It's back on the flag. It'll largely get them to come to me. We only have a handful of units left, so I'm just going to get some units in. I can kind of move around at will. Not very many entry locations here because of terrain difference. At this point, pretty low likelihood they managed to kill another unit. I can just end my turns here. They have some arquebusiers. See if I can. There we go. Let's go ahead and end again. Don't really want to play the rest of this out if I don't need to. There we go. There's Corral. And then we can just go right into a siege here as well. Funny that these units deployed there. Just deploying all my units up here because there's not like a great alternative path in my deployment area in order to get units where I need them to go. I'm gonna shoot with this unit first because possible I won't be able to shoot with him if more units in. Crafties down, get those ones, cross over, get our mortar in play. Start working on these gears. All they're left with is draftees. They'll probably go after my mortar. Guess not. Okay, we should be able to resolve this combat quite easily. Just like this. Okay, got him. Now we just need to get one more city taken over here. When to refuse those demands. And here, I'm going to refuse. If we have any things we can renounce.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing there. Nothing there.
You look different.
Nothing there. Okay. I should just be on auto explore. And we can go after their city here too, actually. Nothing too threatening there. Let's go up on slight high ground and attack from that direction. We're just going to deploy all of our units kind of up in this area here. Where's my last? Down here. We'll just put them kind of in the back there. The arquebusiers are in front, which I think that's a bit of a mistake on their part. And knock them out quite easily at the start of combat there. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. Slight interruption with recording. Let's continue removing the rest of these guys from combat here. Slide right in. Same with that unit right there. And this is going to increase our combat effectiveness quite a bit. And hopefully they have even more units than I thought they did. But once we're inside the city here, it becomes very difficult to actually dislodge us because they're no longer getting their fortification bonuses when we're doing our attacks. Right, how many more units? Not that many. Probably just run straight onto the flag there. Knock out those halberdiers. And only have those 2 units left. Unlikely to do anything. Don't have enough combat strength. Extra health regen sounds nice. Alright, it's great. And we can... next turn we can force their surrender here. So we're just going to end the turn. And ask for their surrender. We are just going to vassalize. I don't really have any interest in taking their cities. I'm already 3 over my city cap, and my cities are very productive. So we're just going to take the vassalization route, and position these guys against this other player over here that we can attack when. And as far as stuff in our cities, let's see, over here, I'll probably just keep building merchant quarters because that's kind of what I focused on already. I think I could maybe attach this outpost right here and still looking okay. We'll go ahead and grab a Sobor in either of those locations. And I think I need to attach 2 more outposts to get some of this. I also need to get my coal going. So thinking can influence purchase there. What else do I have? Coal right here. And I have coal up here as well. Make sure we're grabbing that. Another one down here. I think I might have one on this island as well. I do. An influence purchase there. Okay. So we'll go ahead and end the turn here. All right, had a couple little interruptions there, but we're just picking right up where we left. And we're doing pretty well on our era stars right now. A little behind on the science stars. And pretty close to getting the aesthete era stars. I think the growth stars might be a little difficult. I should maybe prioritize trying to get some techs that increase my growth. So microbiology, actually that reduced population consumption would be pretty helpful. So maybe I run through scientific method to get there and then head on down to electricity for the coal. We're almost done with mechanization, which will increase a few of our outputs. Go for supports there, and I think I have a Congress thing pending. Yeah, we'll go for fellow peoples because this will increase our industry through moving the axis. And then over here, we actually have an army that can kind of hang out. Do I have any agents around anywhere? I feel like they're all kind of in random locations at the moment. There's a few leverages, or well, maybe just one hanging out right there, but I don't really have a way to get it. I'm an envoy that's sitting in this army though. Maybe I can scoot down there and can I like stand on top of it and prevent them from getting it? I think I can probably do that. And then come in and pick it up with my own units. Also go ahead and upgrade these guys right here, just in case I need them in a little bit. And we can idle with those units as well. All right, so let's push on to the next turn. And there's mechanization done. So over in Byblos, I'm just going to buy that academy because that's going to increase my outputs quite a bit. I'm going to swap over to researchers here and leave a few people on food because otherwise I'll start losing population. I could also like buy a granary maybe and the grain silos just so I can keep on growing my population. Feels kind of weird building those. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these infrastructure in here that really increases our industry outputs. And we're going to start doing the same across some of our other cities. Just finish those up and then just add in all that stuff there. Go ahead and maybe add the academy here as well. And then up in Macumba, we have same things there. We'll add the academy and eventually it's got a pretty decently, so we'll come back to that. And then up here as well, can just go ahead and all those items up and start working on some for research quarters. And let's see, some coal we haven't finished, so let's make sure we get that in there. And I'm kind of thinking we just buy the sawmill in a couple locations that have slightly lower industry output, so we'll just pop that in there. And Kerma, Sobor is not really going to do anything for me. We'll go ahead and pop one in up there. And I guess we kind of do the same thing. Just fill in our industrial outputs. And also purchase the train stations now. So I'm going to do that just so I have some areas that are connected up. And I got the world deed for connecting train stations to cities, which is always kind of a weird one because you don't actually have to get it between the cities. This might actually be a good attachment here. I think I'm going to do that. Now I'm losing a ton of food, so let's move some people over to food there. And we opened up a spot for a Sobor, which would get us a little bit of extra influence, so might as well squeeze that one in. And here we can grab that leverage there. Only 10. I'm thinking I maybe leave this guy there just in case some more spawn, because this is kind of the rough area in which I anticipate more spawning in.
What do you
I also have a few grievances announced there, so I'll go ahead and do that. And here we can pretty much just idle our unit now. All right. So let's move on to the next turn here. And I'm out of Q in Osur. So let's add in again those various things that we need in order to be a little bit more productive. Also need a coal mine in here, and I think it's probably time to just finish up the Eiffel Tower. We'll finish that Sobor quickly. And I guess that sawmill as well. Might as well. We have a ton of gold in the bank at the moment. So anything that's like partly purchased already, we can just finish up. Or partly produced already, we can just... And we can probably get, yeah, Eiffel Tower down to 1 turn quite easily. And this unit here, maybe we have it just kind of hang out near Zurich. And these units, I guess we need more of a military presence up here. We do have a couple cities up in that direction. We're going to have to deal with those at some point. All right, it's the Eiffel Tower. Probably claim another wonder here. Don't have enough influence quite yet. We also need to increase our city cap, which comes at urban planning. I am taking a pretty hefty influence penalty right now from being 3 cities over the city cap. Nothing unmanageable, but would be nice to reduce that penalty. I think after microbiology, to increase our growth, we're going to drop to electricity and then go over to... Meanwhile, in Parsa, let's get some of those basics in here. We can get our science basics as well. And this unit, I guess we just kind of keep idling there for cultural bridges, which gives us a little bit of extra influence. Oh, that's way more than I expected. Let's scale up over the course of the game. It must. Huh. I feel like it's usually lower than that. So I'm going to take off Auto Explore and have him kind of come hang out over there.
speak?
And let's see.
And you.
Crises with my vassal that I'm not going to worry about. We do need to vassalize this player here. And we'll need an army up there in order to do that. And maybe send this army. Should upgrade all these units. Let's send them up here, because we're going to have to fight another war. I'm worried about blue potentially rebelling against me at some point. So I think I also just want a bit of a presence up in this area to deal with what feels like potentiality. And here we are moving over to Nemosis just to activate that cultural bridges ability. It's actually more impactful than I realized at this point. And here, this is the one that we want. We'll go ahead and enact that. And that these units can just kind of hang out while we wait for some other grievances to trigger. And the turn here. Just trying to push forward and get as many of these era stars as we can. I think we could potentially attach this territory right here as well. By that manufactory, going to attach right there. Gives us an okay spot for a Sobor there, actually. And then maybe a decent spot for food. I don't mind losing a little bit of industry there. And I think Byblos, I'm probably going to need some better food outputs as well. Like, yeah, right there I can get 1. And probably have to go for food adjacency here. A lot of these aren't amazing. 20 food there is not bad, actually. I can take that. Okay. Working conditions. Stability per population or 2 money and -1 stability per pop. I'm going to go for the stability per population. I'm not having any trouble getting these money era stars. I've gotten it very early in the era. So pretty much a non-issue. We have some crises from the black player there that we can renounce. Not sure where their leverage spawned. They have some decently advanced armies, actually, so I'm going to need to make sure I'm well prepared to deal with those. I think I'm going to buy out some things here. We'll get a couple Cossacks in here just because they are slightly higher combat strength and do provide a little bit of benefit. Also got the world deed for electricity there, so a little bit of extra fame. Royal Palace is a bit of a meme wonder. I'm going to grab Kaiserliche Werft, which is also pretty much useless this game, but is just another way to generate some fame. And I can plop it in a city where I have trouble with stability. I don't know how this city's looking. Yeah, I mean, it's like a decent surplus there already. What? Oh, funny. I get a ton of industry plopping it in this lake right there. Anywhere else that is recommended? I guess it exploits normal terrain. Yeah, that's actually a great spot for that. Extra 63 industry there. Why not? Let's put it in and buy that factory. And let's put that wonder to the front of the queue. And that way we can get a little bit of extra fame out of this as well. I have so much gold that I can pretty much just buy this stuff, really. Okay, Kaiserliche, let's finish the factory there. Move that up. Here we can finish the conveyor belts, move that up. Can I get this down to 1 turn? I can't. Great. Here we can idle while we wait for some more units to come out. I do want to make sure that I have actually sufficient units to do this when I attack the black player. Right now I have a lot of fine infantry. I would like to have more mortars. I also need to finish up some of the industry stuff in here. It's a very efficient coal plant, so we'll go ahead and put that in the queue. And I think we probably need to do the same thing here. Yep, and probably in Los as well. Probably just in all my cities, really. Box that back. Add it to Hattusa. Nessa there. Perma. Great. And up here, I think we can probably just surprise war here. There's still the Ghanaians, so I don't have a lot of confidence that they are going to have any real units of measurable impact. Yeah, we're just going to wipe the floor with these units. Somehow didn't one-shot those peasants there. Or these ones. Feels a little weird. I guess the fortifications do a decent bit of damage in terms of, a decent bit of impact in terms of blocking ranged attacks, so. But yeah, if they don't, you have a chance there. It'll just be an instant victory. We're just going to vassalize them. We'll idle. And up here, position probably against that city. I think I had... Yeah, I have a couple units or a couple armies down here as well that I'm going to upgrade because these guys are kind of positioned to go after one of these cities. And probably these units. Okay, let's see. The crisis. Okay, obviously I'm not supporting this player's freedom here. Let's see if we can get... Oh, we can get a decent bit of here. I want to have them not revolt. I don't quite have enough voting power. Maybe if black player votes with me on this one. I do not want that. And up here, we can ask for their surrender or to become a vassal. We don't really want their city. Reposition them. Actually, blue is about to revolt, so actually we want to put them kind of more over that way. Thankfully, we built a small army here. We might need another one kind of like near Osur here, just to deal with some of these units. I'll finish up that manufactory and then just get a little army here as well. And maybe also on Los, just in case. Just a couple units. We don't need like a huge defense, we just need enough to have some confidence that we would hold against any major attack there. And do I have more crises that I can renounce? Doesn't seem like it. I'm not worried about attacking the black player until the next era, because we're kind of at the point where we're trying to just maximize the amount of fame that we get this game. And we would really like to get some of those diplomat stars, which is a little challenging when you have vassalized a lot of people. Let's go for a combustion engine. That'll get us oil, and then maybe down to trench warfare, which gets us artillery. And then children's rights, I'm going to get the extra researcher slot because I am probably farthest behind in terms of research relative to some of my other outputs. Let's actually change the spawn up there. I didn't realize I had spawn points there. That'll be a little bit more effective. Take a look at this crisis here. Okay. Yeah, they're going to win that. So blue is going to revolt. So let me make sure that I have units actually in a position to deal with it. So I have 2 armies there, an army here. They have a bunch of winged hussars and halberds there. Maybe I get a couple more units on this one. Even could... Cossacks are pretty expensive, but I suppose I have a bunch of gold to buy it out, so why not? There we go. So I think that can handle these units here. And then Burma looks okay. So let's get our academy. And then Hamlet's not particularly worthwhile. I haven't really built any Hamlets this game. I frequently don't, which I think is probably a mistake, and I need to be a little bit better about deciding when to build them. Go for the diagnose option here. I think that leads to some better outcomes later. Actually, a fertilizer plant's probably not a terrible. Make sure we have these distributed, something like that. And what do I mostly have in here? I mean, I have so much industry already. I don't feel like I need that. Let's just keep going with some of these science quarters. Right, I think one more turn until this crisis pops. Yep, so they will revolt next turn. Let's start on trench warfare. Let me take a look at my era stars here. I'm good on expansionist. Got a ways to go on agrarian, actually. I should maybe grab a few more farmers' quarters in some of these cities. I got a decent amount, like right there. It does break up my adjacency a little bit with the science quarters, but I think that's okay because I would really like to make sure that we get that growth star this era. And probably same thing down here. Let me make sure there's no better spots because the suggestions really like prioritizing faith and influence. They treat them kind of as the same as some of the other output. In this case, though, that seems like it's legitimately the best place to go. Let's just buy out that sawmill. It's pretty quick there. And pretty cheap, rather. Here, 20 food there is not bad. Buy that one, and then maybe we can squeeze another one in here somewhere that's decent. Not amazing terrain for farmers' quarters. 19 there is not bad. Let's get a couple more of those in there so that we can continue to grow at a reasonable pace. Like down here might be a little bit better for that coal plant is one there. Okay. And probably actually grab that fertilizer plant as well. I forgot I had not built that there. That army will be good to go. I suppose we can actually pull it up here, and that way we can siege as soon as they declare war. And in here, we still need some strategic infrastructure there. We'll add those into Ossuar. And yeah, so we have to surprise war here if we want to keep them vassalized. Oh, it's a different player than I thought it was. Was that not blue? I was not paying attention, I suppose. Okay. So let's start moving some of these units down this way. And actually, we have quite a few units up here that are in a position to deal with that city there. I guess we come up through that direction. I want to move these units first. And we'll go ahead and make this attack. I'm not going to fret too much about deployments because I have such overwhelming force on this particular attack. Guess maybe let's move these guys onto the ridges here. And thankfully I can move and fire now, since I'm in the industrial with line infantry. Do something like this, I suppose. I can't really see them. Maybe if I like get in here. There's one there. Can't quite take them out. Maybe if I move right here. I just don't want them to concentrate all their melee attacks on my units and do a bunch of damage. It can get a little bit annoying when that happens. So there's one. I have so many units hanging out now. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it was green. Why did I think it was blue? That was weird on my part. I'm not going to get involved in that one. I don't really care what the outcome is. And here we need some of this infrastructure. I don't usually build the granary, but I would really like to continue to grow in all of my cities so that I can get that agrarian star. Usually it's more efficient to get the agrarian star by just like taking over other people. But in this case, since we're not doing that and we're above the city cap, we're trying to grow naturally a little bit more challenging. And we'll wonder if we want, maybe I actually attach like this territory here so that this city can have more food. Yeah, that's a lot more food. Let's go ahead and build that. And yeah, 26 sounds good to me. Go ahead and slot that in. And I might pull some of these people off money and put them on farming. And we're even going to like get grain silos in here. And I guess we'll finish the factory first and fertilizer plant. And then as far as tech, I think we grab wireless telegraphy to get that influence on Commons Quarter. How many more techs do I need? 3? Yeah, so it's probably just wireless telegraphy, aeronautics, and propeller, because that gets me everything I need to set up next era. And as far as growth, we'll need like another 35 or so. And we're a decent ways off on the diplomacy stars as well. But there's not really a lot of leverage lying around the map right now, so that'll be kind of challenging because I'm going to need to get these crises that aren't really popping. What do you want? Refuse?
There's just no way.
Okay. And alright, let's move these guys. Yeah, I can get right to Sipar this turn, so I should be able to siege this down pretty easily. You have Rodiscan Regata here. Arquebusiers and Knights. Both like somewhat decent units, but at this point with line infantry should be pretty easy to overcome. Okay, and some crossbows apparently. The one thing that I don't want to deal with the Rodiscan Regata is that they are stealth units. They kind of creep around and be obnoxious. Hit those draftees pretty easily. And same from back here because of the elevation that those units are at. We can use some of our backline infantry to hit them. I'm going to move these guys up here, and that way I can like fire across. Maybe from another position I can hit them somewhere else. Maybe these guys, yeah, there we go. And then I can get those guys in, move these guys forward. I can hit those draftees there. The knights, hit those ones there. And that puts me in a pretty good position here. So I have the Rodiscan Regata and their Arquebusiers, but they should not be too much of a threat, considering they're low in number. I'm just going to move on to the flag there, just in case there's any funny business. Make sure I can win at the end of the round here. We'll go after these Arquebusiers, just going to get up right on top of them. Because you get that +3 combat strength from focused fire, which is when you are adjacent to those units. There we go. And they'll just run those draftees to me, and that'll be G. So quelled that little rebellion there. Next turn we will be able to what I'm looking for. Ends that war. And did I finish researching oil? I did. Let's make sure we're getting our oil stuff online. We have a ton of oil in the city. I'm gonna prioritize that. Get at least one of them built.
Where have you been?
And I'm going to refuse that. All I want from them is to revassalize. And the rest of these units are going to position back against the black player again. Get our fertilizer plant in here. Let's get this here. And then we can maybe grab some more science quarters just in this area around here. Alright. Go ahead and end the turn. And ends this war. We'll ask for their surrender, and they are going to be vassalized again. Take a look at our era progress here. So we need another 30 on the growth. Okay. Oh, boy. That, of course. And do I have any other ongoing crises? Anyone? Okay, plenty to renounce there. That's another 25 on the leverage. Still, I don't think it's really going to be enough to get me where I need to go on this one. Unless I like start generating a lot more grievances kind of out of the blue. But that seems a little unlikely. Okay. Here we're just positioning those units down there. Discard that border there, I suppose. And then here we can upgrade into artillery, which is really what we're going to need when we actually go to war with the black player here. Okay. And Karma. Some oil that we need to build. And I guess we can grab a fertilizer plant. And I guess some more research quarters. Probably makes the most sense. Let's just get them slotted in. Okay. And Biplos. Also probably just more research. The industrial silos aren't really going to do anything. I have so much stability already that stability doesn't make sense. My industry is so high already that I don't really need it. So we'll just fill out some more research quarters here. Maybe start in that area. I know this is the Mirai, but the Mirai gets like a stability penalty if you have an adjacent quarter, but at this point my stability is so high that that penalty doesn't really matter. Minus 30 money for 5,000 influence seems like a trade-off. Extra science seems like a good trade-off. Yeah. Let's get the extra science. I think that leads to a decent outcome later as well. And let's pick up aeronautics there. Growth. Getting close. Anywhere else I want to attach? Maybe like right here can provide some okay growth. Or that one's not a great attachment there. Yeah, let's try attaching right here. And get another Sobor. Go ahead and buy that one. And 43 food right there sounds quite nice. We can purchase that. And the rest of these units, let's have these guys in a slightly better position here to control the flow of enemy units. Okay, and end our turn. Okay, we have a little ways to go, really, before we hit that growth benchmark. We could try to go for Royal Palace here, which is like a ridiculous influence cost, but I don't really need influence for anything, so I'm just gonna grab it. This might be the only time I ever build Royal Palace. Just doing it for the fame, really. Just put that to the front of the queue.
What do you want?
Let's refuse those demands. Don't care about those demands. Any other crises that I can... I feel like these guys have lured population, but not this time around. Okay. Osur. Fertilizer plant basically does nothing here. And let's get some more market quarters, I guess. Maybe around here, since that's kind of where I have them already. And down here, it's maybe the armory. Fishery can lead to some decent infrastructure later, so we'll get some of that infrastructure. I did not mean to move units out of Byblos there. I didn't realize I had selected them. Still a decent ways from growth stars, but I feel like we're going to get there in a couple turns because our cities are growing quite quickly. So I'm going to queue up Propeller here because that gets us access to a couple key infrastructure that we're still going to want in a few cities. And in the meantime, I can just work on a couple other things. I guess some more market quarters would help me just buy out some more things when we next era, and I can blitz down the era star thing possible. Actually, that got me my agrarian era star there. You need one more tech for scientist. You need like 90 leverage, which
Hello.
seems unlikely. I think it's just time to build up some more support here. I don't think I'm going to get that Diplo star this era. Now that everyone's vassalized, I generate a lot fewer grievances. So, is what it is. Nothing I can really do about it at this point. I think if I were like if I were planning to optimize this for fame from the start, I would have delayed vassalizing players just so that I could generate more fame off of them by farming grievances. Also some oil here that I want. I'd also like buy the aerodrome. Maybe that'll come in handy later. These units can idle. And Biblos. Grab more science quarters, I guess. 43 science there is pretty good. Producing some outputs, but much less importance at the stage in the game because you get so many outputs from other sources other than just exploit. Stability is a why. And then up here, just to build out some more research quarters, and then we can blitz down the tech tree in the next era. And we have some of this harbor infrastructure that we're going to need to construct in these coastal cities. Make sure we're getting that. And then Makumba, we are working on some research quarters. Well, that's also working on research quarters. We're good. As you can see, like stability is basically a non-concern at this point. We're going to pick up nationhood because that gets us conscripts, which is our like city defense. And I think we just call it a day on these Diplo stars because it's going to take forever to farm that up given the current state of the board. So we're going to consider between basically the Nigerians and the Singaporeans. Both of them are pretty bad. The Nigerians do have a niche with oil refinery where if you're playing a game where you don't have access to any oil for whatever reason, oil refinery can be pretty critical because you need oil to get the science game trigger as well as to build certain units. The MRAP is just like average and the legacy trait is garbage. +3 industry per farmer and extra farmer slot on oil deposits basically is like a totally useless trait. And the Singaporeans is like all about having one giant city. You get extra stability per number of attached territories on capital. You do get the bonus on future fame gains per client state, which is like actually the one thing that'll be useful about them in this particular run is that they will get like a 10% bonus to fame. But like reservists will basically do nothing for me because I'm never under siege. And then communal housing actually requires you to be under your city cap in order to build. So I won't be able to build communal housing. I think you get like one communal housing per city you are under your city cap. So this is not going to really do anything for me. The only useful thing here really is the extra fame gains. So those will be my two options, and I'm just going to take my pick at the start of the next era. So appreciate you being here, tuning in for this worst culture run, which I've somehow turned into like getting maximum era stars for the most part. And I'll see you for the contemporary in the not so distant future.